Chicago. This is WBWS-DB, Chicago. This is WJKS, Indianapolis. This is WSMM-DB, Indianapolis, Louisville, Cincinnati.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to WQVZ, 1700 AM Mission Radio.
Me and the Lord, we got an understanding. We're on a mission from God.
Speaking of a mission from God, thank you to all our stations. And how do you spell hemorrhoid? Lebron. Hemorrhoid. For 23 years. Oh, and glitch? That's for you. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I got to thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Because we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Please send those seals back to SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah!
Let's go, baby! Woo!
Tiger Stripes Media, don't tempt me.
And Pizzle, hats off. It was a game, Bubba.
Mm-hmm. It was. Good morning. And welcome to the the overreaction manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. Glad to have everybody in the Fanatics feedback zone with us, with their comments and questions and Fit Down Sports, aka our good friend Chris Dietz. What did I watch yesterday in Dallas? I can't describe it.
Neither can I, but y'all got the W. That's all that matters.
Yep. Cowboys got the win in overtime, 40-37. We'll give you the full scoreboard in just a moment.
Yep.
But I want to start in Detroit.
That's
that's
a game you may have to summon Jim Ross for.
I won't need Jim Ross.
Okay.
Honey, crank up the tank. Give me this camera. Dear Chicago Bears, y'all suck. Period.
Given
what I watched parts of yesterday in Detroit was flat out pathetic. Just like Victor asked me to be critical, I'm being very critical. The Chicago Bears are pathetic. Period.
There's a button for how they played, right?
I was going to tell you stand by on that, but we needed Chris Bates at that juncture. I follow up with this question.
What in the all types of blue hell
was that? What was that?
As Dietz said, the Bears are
going to bear. Yeah, the Bears are going to bear. Absolutely right. And you all, and I can't put everything on Caleb Williams. Can't do that when it's an organizational problem.
Yeah.
But I will begin with Caleb Williams. Dear Chicago Bear fans and Chicago Bear organization, You put your money into that? Really? We even had a Tyler Badgett signing. It got so bad.
Yeah, they put all of their money
And as I said,
on this guy.
Yep. And as I said many times before, you have risked, doubled down, mortgaged away, and to borrow a word, and Playmaker, you're going to yell at me, yeeted away your entire future
For
DJ
Moore.
Moore. And then on top of that, you backed up the Brinks truck twice.
Yep.
For Caleb Williams. You made a starter out of a backup.
Yeah, that didn't exactly go well. That didn't go well now, did it?
QB mild has turned QB nothing. The only good player yesterday that I saw was Roma Dunze. He actually caught the ball, unlike DJ Moore. And you know who else you don't trust in that offense? How about Cole Kmet? How about your draft picks? How about the fact that you spent your draft picks on offense and you don't get him in the game? You know the Bears had a couple of healthy scratches. Which tells me which tells me you put something at the foot of Ben Johnson that he has no control over. And Ben Johnson, you gotta get better at coaching, my man. You're, as far as I've seen, you're an offensive coordinator at best. And let me talk about the Bears defense. In the last 5 quarters, and let me shout out Jonathan Hood and Hall of Famer Dave Kaplan for this stat from the Cap and J Hood show in Chicago. You know, in the last 5 quarters of football, the Bears have allowed 73 points. That's why they're 0-2. And if they keep playing that way, they're going to be 0-4 before they hit their bye. And then after the bye, they're not going to win a doggone thing. I have to be careful. I got yelled at by my wife, who is our coordinating producer and who is also in charge of daily ops. I'll tell that story after the break.
I hate to say it, but I think they're going to either be 0-4 or 1-3 anyway.
And thank you, Pizzle, for this stat. Y'all keep the stats coming because the Fanatics Feedback Zone is the lifeblood of the show. Colston Loveland, you spent a draft pick on Colston Loveland, who I think is going to wind up being traded to an actual good team. Kyle Shanahan, line 1. He got
nothing.
No receptions. Nothing. He got, how do I often say it? Nothing. A top 10 pick at a tight end position where you have Cole Kmet. How often do we see teams use 2 tight ends? It's often now. Thank you, Travis Kelce and George the Animal Kittle.
Before that, Gronkowski.
Before that, Gronk.
And then we can go as far back as
Zach
Gonzalez.
Tony Gonzalez. Doug Cosby. Jay Novacek. Brent Jones. What am I naming? Tight ends that actually participate in the game. You spend money on Colston Loveland. And how about this stat? And thank you, Dietz, for that. Thank you to the Dietz Stats Bureau. The Lions have had 25 first downs and only 10 third down plays. Let me repeat that again, courtesy of Dietz Sports Research. 25 first downs, 10 third down plays. 10.
Which they were 4 for 10 on.
Pathetic. The Chicago Bears are pathetic. And my late mother asked me for years, why don't I like the Chicago Bears? Mom, I love you, I miss you, and I hope this answers your question. Okay, honey, you can close the tank now.
Oh, what a day for those guys. By the way, the other big stat when it came to Caleb Williams, sacked 4 times for 29 yards.
Caleb Williams, you suck. Period. You have sucked. You understand me? You have sucked since your grand game at Texas in the Red River Shootout. You haven't had a good game since. I hear music, so we're going to a break. Coming up after the break, to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters, shut up. That's next. This is Snowman in the Morning. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Cause we take this job so serious.
You fool!
Delete! 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 Delete!
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Welcome back to this Manic Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Overreaction Monday is what we like to call it. Hey, you want to get more Snowman in the Morning? Make sure you check out the YouTube channel at SIT Morning. That's where you can subscribe, get exclusive clips, and if you want behind the scenes footage, you can go to patreon.com/SIT Morning. Now then, give me the tank again.
Oh, it's a good thing we got the extra large one today. We need it.
Now give me this dog on camera.
Oh, boy.
To all you San Francisco 49er haters, I know it's only 2 weeks in the season. I know we played the New Orleans Saints yesterday, but as beat up as we are, shut up. 26-21 was the final score.
Yep.
And you can close the tank after that. I did that just to be silly. Close the tank. I did that to be totally silly, but I want to bring up
me
this
come
point.
out of retirement for this. I tell you what.
Yeah, I tell you what. Before we get back to the 49ers, I got to step away for a minute. Dog has something to say about his game yesterday in Miami. Take it.
Yeah, you want to talk about an absolute dogfight and pizzle. At least Miami looked more competent than what they did against Indianapolis. 33-27 was the final in that game. Trust me, no one had that on their bingo card going forward. Drake May went 19 of 23, 230, 2 touch. Tua went 26 of 32, 315, 2 touch, 1 pick. It was that pick late that sealed the game for New England. But let's talk about the fact that in 12 seconds, we had, wait for it, a punt return for a 74-yard TD by Miami, and then New England returns a kickoff 90 yards to the house to say, you know what you can do, we can do better. Tua was undefeated against New England going into this game, 7-0, and New England hadn't won in Miami since 2019. Something had to give. And what gave was Miami. Now, granted, this wasn't the same Miami team that got their tail ends whooped by Indianapolis in week 1. But if I'm down there in Miami and I'm Coach McDaniel, I'd be concerned. Because you lost to a team that is likely going to end up in the playoffs with Indianapolis. And then you end up coming up short against a team that fell to, of all teams, the Raiders week 1. We go from putting up 13 points in our house to putting up 33 points on the road. Figure that one out. But if I'm Mike Vrabel right now, I'm sitting at 1-1. You know, I don't know how comfortable I'd be. There was a lot of improvement that needs to happen from this game. there was a lot of, well, let's just put it bluntly, stupid penalties on the front line that need to be corrected. I'm going to say that right now. Stupid flipping penalties on the front line. There were too many offsides calls. There was too many encroachment calls on the front line that killed drives. So that has to be fixed. But in regards to head coach McDaniel over there in Miami, I'd be concerned right now. I would legitimately be concerned. Tua looks strong, but he can't do it all. Because there's going to come a point when McDaniel is going to end up forcing Tua to do something stupid, and Tua's going to end up on the bench with another concussion. Yesterday's game showed improvement for both teams, but I'd be more concerned if I was McDaniel. That's just me, though.
Oop. Wrong button. Dear Mike McDaniel, you fired.
No, that's going to be Mike Tomlin in about 3 weeks.
Well, to Mike Tomlin and Mike McDaniel, you fired.
Well, you know how Mike Tomlin feels about all this.
We do not care.
33-27, the final in Miami. New England wins in Miami for the first time since, what'd you tell me, 2019?
2019.
Mm.
And Tua was undefeated against New England.
Until yesterday.
Yep.
Now to New Orleans. A beat-up 49er team took down New Orleans 26-21. And I got some praise for Mac Jones. After a 3-and-out on their first drive, he got the Niners on the board with a 15-play drive.
That'll do it.
Executing that offense with precision. And I also want to give some shout out to the Niners defense for shutting the door. New Orleans got downfield in a hurry. The Niners surrendered 300 yards of offense. But that defense of San Francisco is starting to get their act together.
Yeah.
They're starting to get there. And what's scary is that some of the pieces that have been injured for the 49ers on offense may be coming back by the time we go to Los Angeles, which is going to be a pain in the ass because Playmaker's going to hop on.
Yeah. But you also got to figure Bosa is finally starting to get into his groove, and he's doing it early.
Yes, he is.
And that is worrisome.
Yeah, for everybody else.
Exactly.
To Arlington Stadium. What the hell was that?
The Giants having 14 penalties for $160.
And there was another stat that Dietz gave us. Where is it? It's right here. Talk about stupid penalties. The Giants had 6 penalties for 70 yards on their first drive.
Yes.
That should tell you everything you need to know. And to Jared Chalucci, tell me I'm saying that right. If not, please correct me. Mac Jones, in one game for the 49ers, threw 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
I don't think Mac's ever had a 3-touchdown game in New England.
Not that I am aware of.
I don't think I know he's had a 2-touchdown game, but never a 3-touchdown game.
Oh, let me just
take a look. Take a look at that.
For the sake of it, since I'm already
take
here.
a look at that. But New York Giants, you should be embarrassed. 14 penalties, I think it was. 14 penalties for 160 yards, as we're talking Cowboys this morning on Snowman in the Morning, Cowboys and Giants. Doing our Overreaction Monday. 14 penalties for 160 yards, and it looked like the Giants were going to escape. It looked like the Giants were going to escape. But then Brandon Aubrey
Yeah.
But then Brandon Aubrey But then Brandon Aubrey drilled a missile from 64 yards. What?
Yeah.
Victor was calling the game yesterday on Sportsnet Sunday for us. Victor lost his voice.
Right. By the way, for Mac Jones, he's had 5 career 3 TD games, 4 of them in New England. Most recent one was the 10th of September 2023 against Philly.
Thank you for the correction. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
But what the hell was that? What do I often say? What in the Vita blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell was that? If I'm the New York Giants, I'm embarrassed. You had a chance to be 2-0, and you blew them both times. You blew it. "64-yard field goal as the clock went dead."
Yeah.
Victor Locke says, I'm a Cowboys fan and I'm embarrassed. Jared Goff threw 5 TDs, 3 to Amon-Ra St. Brown. We'll touch on that game in full in a moment. Or we'll do it after the break. But matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to show you with Joe Davis and the Moose, Daryl Johnston on the call. Giants leading 37-34. We're all thinking, Victor included, because he's the Cowboys expert for us, that, and Victor, my wife has a question for you. She says, why do you like so many teams in Texas? Because she caught us talking about the Longhorns opening day. This is the kick heard round the world.
Aubrey, does he have enough? On the way, it is good! That's why they trusted him. Never a doubt. On to over.
The fact that Aubrey is the first kicker to hit a game tying in the fourth quarter as the clock goes dead, and then a game winning in overtime as the clock goes dead.
First kicker ever. My first ever favorite kicker was Ray Wersching. Behind him was an old cowboy, Raphael Septien.
Mm-hmm.
But Brandon Aubrey, sheesh.
That is called having ice in your veins.
Big time.
Whew.
Big time. My gracious. All right. Well, we got that out of the way, and I'm going to call an audible, as I usually do. Coming up after the break, I'm going to honor Tiger Stripes Media requests.
Oh, no.
We're going to go down to Atlanta. This is Snowman in the Morning. We're back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning. Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back. This is indeed Snowman in the Morning. And we're honoring all of our radio stations today, including 2 new ones. A shout to those listening via WHDR down in the Carolinas. And those of you listening on WQVZ in Alabama. Thanks to my friend Rob O'Ryan for putting that together for us, and thank you for the support from those of you down in the Carolinas. But I'm here in Indiana, and I want to talk about the Indianapolis Colts before I get to Tiger Stripes requests.
All right, talk to me.
Daniel Jones is 2-0.
Yeah, but they got a little fortunate yesterday.
They got a gift at the end of the ball game yesterday. That should have been an L.
That should have been
an L.
But
Spencer Schrader tried a 60-yard field goal, didn't get it. But DJ Jones, former 49er, now turned Bronco, was whistled for leverage.
Yep, you can't jump over the center.
That's a 15-yard penalty. So the attempt went from 60 to 45, and Spencer Schrader drilled it as time expired.
Oh, as time expired, hell, man, it was untimed. It was literally
that was an untimed.
It was deaded.
That's very true. Thank you for that correction. That was an untimed down. So the clock had zeros on it. You either make it or you go home with an L. And Schrader drilled it.
Yep.
And Jared, you're absolutely right. The Colts got lucky. Because I was calling that while I was in the midst of a spelling bee, and we'll tell you that funny story in a little bit.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
we'll tell you about the spelling bee. And I was in the midst of a spelling bee on Discord while covering the Colts game. I got excited. My wife was screaming her head off in the bedroom about that game. But the player of the game for me in that game was Jonathan Taylor. 164 yards on the ground. And it wasn't one of Daniel Jones's best games, but I tell you what, this Colts offense with Daniel Jones at quarterback moves the football a lot.
That they do.
They had over 400 yards yesterday of offense. Let that sink in for all you Colts haters. 400 plus yards of offense. And now I'm doing research. And the only criticism, honestly, that I have for the Colts, they had to settle for 5 field goals, including the game winner.
Red zone offense was lacking.
Yeah, red zone offense was bad against the Broncos, but kudos to that Broncos defense for standing up every time the Colts got in the red zone. Matter of fact, Colts got in the red zone 7 times. 5 field goals and 2 touchdowns. But look, I'm not doubting this Colts offense. Not anymore. Not anymore. As I take a look at that, 6 points in the fourth quarter for the Colts. Those were the 2 field goals that made it 28-26, and then the game winner with no time on the clock. Game started with a field goal. Colts led 3-0, and then Broncos countered with a touchdown. Bo Nix to Marvin Mims that covered 23 yards. They placed 64 yards on that one. Another field goal for the Colts from 33 that made it 7-6, and then the Colts' first touchdown of the game. Daniel Jones up the middle for a yard that capped off a 62-yard drive. But I want to look at the numbers.
I'm looking at them right now.
Game. And 60. Oh, wait. Nix threw for 392. J.K. Dobbins, 30 carries, 139 yards. For the Colts.
To correct you, boss, Bo Nix only threw for 205.
Oh, these are total numbers. I'm sorry. I looked at this wrong. These are total numbers. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I was going to say Nix threw for 205, 22 of 30, 3 touch, 1 pick. JK went 14 touch, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Besides that, there wasn't a whole lot of offense for Denver.
You're right. I'm looking at this totally wrong.
Jones I got you covered. Don't worry about it. Jones
Thank
went
you.
23 of 34, 316, 1 touchdown, sacked once, 10-yard loss, rating of a 107. Jonathan Taylor, 25 touches, 165. Jones went 6 carries, 2 yards, had that rushing touchdown. And the receiving touchdown went to Jonathan Taylor, 2 for 50. Tyler Warren, 4 for 79. Alec Pierce, 4 for 68. Josh Downs, 6 for 51. Jonathan Taylor, 2 for 50.
Total yards for the Colts. I said over 400. What's the exact number?
Let me get back to that screen. Total number 473.
473. Almost 500 yards of offense. You want to know how dangerous this Colts team can be? And no one believed me when I said it. Dog, what did I say at the top of the season about how dangerous this Colts team can be now that they have an actual quarterback?
Here's your big thing. 6 of 13 on third down.
On the money down. On the money down.
Yeah, but they were 2 for 6 in the red zone. That's concerning.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. You gotta correct that, Indy. You gotta correct that. You gotta get touchdowns instead of field goals. But in this situation, I'll take it.
By the way, they're already coming up with graphic ideas.
I'm ahead of you.
Yeah.
I'm ahead of you.
Of course you would be.
Y'all may see that. Y'all may see that graphic during the second hour. And there are two games with no punts.
Yeah.
Pizzle, which are the 2 games with no punts? See, the fans help us with stats, okay? Because I'm old and I can't remember all of them. 2 games with no punts in 1 week. And before we go to break, you, sir, said there was a first.
Yeah,
in the
this
NFL.
one happened in the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. And apparently Pizzle is saying both Colts games this season have had 0 punts.
Well, no wonder I haven't had to call Rigoberto Sanchez. I just thought of that. I didn't say Rigoberto Sanchez the entire game against Miami. Not once.
Okay, so Seattle just got done scoring early in the fourth quarter against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Let's set this up. This is in Pittsburgh, the whole 9 thing. Purgatory managed to surprise us.
Yes.
So they kicked the ball off into Pittsburgh territory.
Mm-hmm.
The ball hits in the landing zone, goes through somebody on Pittsburgh's side's hands. They never touched it, but it was considered live ball.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle goes into the back of the end zone, recovers it for a touchdown. This is the first time I've heard with this rule of this happening.
Oh, Michael, where you at?
Let me
Where
guess.
you-
He did. What?
We do not care.
Yeah.
Apparently you don't.
That would be the guys on Pittsburgh right about now wondering why did that happen.
But kudos to Indianapolis for the effort they put up yesterday, because I can tell you from covering the Colts, last year there were a lot of games that they were in, but in some cases they quit.
Yeah.
Because they were excited to be in the game and not finish the doggone thing.
Now,
They finished it yesterday.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Last week was the blowout against Miami.
Yes.
This is proving that Indy can win games both clean and dirty.
Yeah, because yesterday was dirty.
Yeah.
Yesterday's game was completely dirty, especially, and I knew it would be a dogfight. Matt Taylor said it would be a dogfight. For those of you who wonder who Matt Taylor is, because someone asked me, he is the fabulous radio voice of the Indianapolis Colts and one of my dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna make an effort to get him on each and every week
Yeah.
And yes, I am building a library for that. Jonathan Flagle. Jonathan, did I get that? Did I get that right? Flagle.
That's the pronunciation. Yes, that's how I would have it.
Okay. Flagle says Bo played good, but it was Denver's defense, special teams, and lack of situational awareness and discipline that cost them a game. What was Denver's numbers on third down?
Denver's numbers on third down. Give me just a second to get back to that because I got the general page up in front of me because I was curious about some of those other games. Third down was, let me take a look, 4 of 9.
4 of 9 on third down, including one where they got stuffed.
Yeah,
late in the fourth quarter, which led to a Colts field goal. No, that was an interception that led to the Colts field goal. They get stuffed on third down on the drive that led to the Colts winning the game.
Yep.
To the Colts winning the game. Oops.
Right.
The Colts are 2-0.
Go figure.
I can't believe I'm saying this for the first time in a while. The Colts are 2-0.
Yeah.
On that, we're going to a break. When we come back, I will honor Tiger Stripes Media. I will honor Tiger Stripes Media requests. Oh gosh,
And Clemson, this is why you fell out of the top 25.
We're back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Cause we take this job so serious.
You fool!
Delete! 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 Delete!
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Furious? What's furious?
Welcome back to Snowman in the Morning on this manic overreaction Monday. We're adding the old school flavor to it with a little bit of music before and after each break to honor our stations. We're coming up on the top of the hour, 14 before. And we go to the Fanatics feedback zone. Jonathan Flagle says, yes, Snowman, you got it right. Think bagel and flay as in Bobby Flay, but combine them and don't pronounce the P. I thought that was the case, but I wanted to.
That's how I read it and had it in my mind too.
Okay.
So you got it, dude.
Good. 70 yards and who got every time they throw the Pickens, there's a PI call. That's insane. And of course, the folks recognize my beautiful wife, the lovely Dr. K, or as Victor says, the legendary Dr. K, with her comment about the Colts before we went to break.
And for some reason, this came out of Victor's mouth. Dear Glitch, you fool! We got to talk about that later. We definitely got to talk about that later.
Oh, Glitch ain't gonna like me this week.
Oh God, no.
Dear Glitch, you fool!
We'll explain where this is coming from in a minute, but first, dear Clemson, you fell out of the top 25 because you got your butts kicked by Georgia Tech. Boss man?
Even better. Dear Clemson, you fool!
Yeah.
Tiger Stripes Media, you made a request of me. I am now going to honor it. Come here.
Gotcha.
What was that, Clemson? 5 years ago, same stadium, Bobby Dodd Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia. You went to Georgia Tech and hung 70 points on them. Now you barely scored 21 and you get victimized by a fire drill and you walk out of Bobby Dodd Stadium. Where is it? With a big fat and you're out of the top 25, and I'm going to make a prediction that may go wrong, but may not go wrong. You ain't getting back in.
Their playoff push may be done too.
As George Carlin said, and I use this phrase about the top 25, hey, Clemson, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Yep.
Clemson is no longer a part of the big club, and we'll talk about the big club later.
Yeah. That's next hour.
You cannot. Thank you, Deets. Clemson has no running game because Travis Etienne ain't walking through that door anytime soon. So that's the first problem. The second problem, you allow Georgia Tech 400 yards of offense. Oops. I know that's a projection. That's a prediction sure to come out wrong, as my wonderful producer will look up the exact number for me. But it seems like Georgia Tech ran at will. At will.
Hayes King went for $103 rushing and threw for 211.
That's 300 yards of offense right there.
Yeah, the rest of their running game was anemic, but Haynes King was the dominant force in that. 125 carries, $103, 1 touchdown. Jamal Hayes, 12 for 26 and 1 touch.
I will say something that no one else except Chris Dietz, got to honor the King of the Hill, will say aloud. 4 words for you. Haynes King for Heisman. The word Heisman begins with H. I think the winner should begin with H. But back to Clemson. That was as anemic a performance I've ever seen from you in the Dabble Sweeney era, ever. And they put you in the top 25 for what? You lost to LSU, and now you lost to Georgia Tech. Clemson, friends, Tigers, countrymen, lend me your ears. Your season is over. That's Snowman's take. What's yours?
Here's the big thing dealing with Clemson. They had 2 turnovers, which really cost them. They lost a fumble and had an interception thrown. Everything else, Clemson was either there or actually beating Georgia Tech. It's just mistakes cost them late.
Very late. Mistakes cost them a walk-off field goal. A non-conversion on 3rd down on the previous drive cost them a walk-off field goal. And how about the execution of Georgia Tech on the last drive?
I was watching that, and that whole fire drill thing.
Was that not good?
And here's the thing, that it's not the first time we've seen this either. The fact that they already had basically the front line in the game. They only had to swap out 6 pieces instead of an entire offense.
Instead of entire offensive line. Sick Diggy joins us from Norway, so we are now internationally syndicated. Good morning to you, Sick.
Now, speaking of the top 25, since we got a few minutes before the top of the hour.
And we're going to expand on that when we come back from the halftime break. But go on, sir.
Do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
Bottom to top.
25, new entrant, USC. 20. Yeah, USC gets in. 25, 3-0.
Come here.
I'm dead serious.
24.
Surprisingly, and I say this with a real hitch in my voice, Notre Dame.
Talk about that after the break, because I'm going to roast Notre Dame. Next one.
23, Missouri. 22, Auburn. 21, Michigan. 20, new entrant, Vanderbilt.
That's a great, great club. That's a great ball club. And they went to South Carolina and whooped their ass.
Yes, they did.
Let me say that again. I'm a fan of Diego Pavia. I love that kid. Vanderbilt went to South Carolina and whipped their ass.
I think what you're looking for is.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Listen. I'll say it again. I got the button over here.
Okay.
Vanderbilt went to South Carolina and whipped their ass.
Yeah.
Next one.
19, moving up 3 spots. Indiana.
See, Indiana gets no. Well, we'll expand on the poll after the break. I'll just give a one-liner. Indiana's gotten no love in 2 years. Next.
Yeah, media's screwing them over. 18, new admission at 3-0, Georgia Tech.
Perfect.
17, Texas Tech, up 4.
Okay, next one.
Up 4 again, number 16, Utah at 3-0.
No love for Utah either.
At 15.
And they're going to win Utah's going to win the Big 12.
At 15.
Just saying.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. 15, 2-1, Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee stays put.
Yeah.
At 15, because they were at 15 coming into the game against Georgia, which was 800 yards of offense and a Donnybrook in and of itself.
That it was.
And Tennessee played Georgia to overtime. So Tennessee is right where they need to be. Next one.
Next on the hit list at 14, 2-1, Alabama. They move up 5 after beating Wisconsin.
Oh, hell no. Out. OUTT. Out. Next.
At 13, with a 41-35 win, Lane Kiffin's job is safe. Up 4, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I saw the end of that game. I was thinking upset, but Ole Miss recovered a fumble late.
At number 12, up 2 after a 24-16 win, Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah, buddy. They're competing for the Big 12 title.
At number 11, after a 42-3 shellacking that they delivered, Oklahoma sits at 11.
Interesting with their SEC schedule coming up.
At number 10, the team that knocked down Notre Dame 41-40, up
Texas
6
A&M.
spots.
Texas
A&M. The 12's known as A&M.
Texas A&M moving up in the ranks. Next one.
Number 9, staying put after a 38-0 shellacking they delivered to Western Michigan, Illinois.
And they got a big one coming up this weekend.
That they do. At number 8, dropping a slot, even though they beat UTEP 27-10, it's the Longhorns of Texas.
And they're going to keep dropping as long as they play like ish. Next.
Actually going up 3 positions, even though they were on an off week, Florida State.
Good. They put a foot in Alabama, and they've been climbing since. Next one.
Here's a shocker. After beating Northwestern 34-14, dropping 2 spots, number 6 is Oregon.
And you'll hear the reason coming up in just a couple of moments.
At number 5, beating Tennessee 44-41, jumping a slot, it's Georgia.
That's why Oregon dropped 2 spots, because Georgia had a heck of a game against Tennessee, and they deserve to move up. Next.
Moving up a spot to 4 after beating South Florida 49-12, the U in Miami.
Oh, yeah. Can they keep it is the question. Like Peter Tomarkin said, every time someone landed on the car space, now the trick is, can you keep it? Next.
Yep. Next on the list, after beating Florida 20-10 down in the Death Valley, it's LSU, them Tigers.
And they're going to continue to roll up. They beat Florida, which has playmaker crying a lot of crocodile tears.
At number 2, dropping Villanova 52-6, it's Penn State.
Woo! But they haven't played anybody yet. Let's see what happens during the Big Ten season.
And staying at number 1 after dropping Ohio 37-9, it's them Buckeyes of Ohio State.
107 points in the last 2 games for the Buckeyes. Now the fun can begin. We'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll explore more of the college football poll and some big games coming up for week number 4. You want more on Snowman in the Morning? Look us up on YouTube, youtube.com/@SITMorning. You can also find us on all of your podcast carriers. And you can also find us, ready for this, on snowmanmultimedia.com/SITmorning. Just launched this morning. We're going to a break. More on the college football polls when y'all get back. This is Snowman in the Morning, back after halftime.
This is Snowman in the Morning.